Loads. Greetings, Watford fans. Omar here with another Orns Friday focus on Manchester United versus Watford at Old Trafford tomorrow. And this is a game, of course, that Watford are expected not to win, or expected, shall I say more rudely, to lose. But there is nothing to lose now, I think, as far as Watford are concerned. Let's change the personnel. Well, obviously, there is something to lose, and that's Premier League status. But let's change the personnel a little bit now. Let's do that. Josh King came off during the game against Crystal Palace the other day with what looked like a back injury. He was holding his back and he was subbed off. Why not start to take chances and put players in who haven't had the rub of the green at all for the most part this season? Ashley Fletcher, yeah, he's rumored to be going off to the New York Red Bulls in preparation for a loan spell there for the MLS. But why wasn't he really used at all in these Premier League games? Well, if he still does have a few games left at Watford before he is expected to go to the New York Red Bulls on loan, then why not play Ashley Fletcher? Why not? Can't be any harm in doing that. But for whatever reason, that is not happening now. And I wish that at this point, with your season where it is, that the Watford hierarchy and the Watford manager at this point would take that chance and see what can happen. If you got no Josh King, who hasn't scored, by the way, since late November of last year, you might as well try something new. João Pedro is hopefully going to be back. At the time I'm recording this, no word on whether João Pedro is fit enough to feature against Manchester United, but his presence would be definitely needed because I think he's one of the very few players right now on the Watford team that has a bit of devil in him, that is positive, that is confident, that will find a way to make things happen. That's João Pedro. And it would be a welcome sight to have him back in the lineup. Hopefully, he is fit and well. Hope he really is, because I think Watford could use him at this point. He has scored 2 Premier League goals this season, but he's always looking for goal. He's got an eye for goal. He is someone who's relentlessly going forward in the game. He is a positive player with a positive attitude, and that's something that the team at large lacks. And one of the things that I've noticed, especially in the game against Palace, is that Watford were not playing together as a team. Now, they work very hard on the training pitch, but they don't work hard enough on the pitch when it's time for match day in the Premier League. And I saw that very clearly in the game against Crystal Palace. Not enough runners, not enough help for players. You see Sissoko by himself dribbling against 3 players. No Watford player in the vicinity at all to drop back to try and help him and provide an outlet ball. Nobody. And that is not playing as a team. I saw that a number of times in that game. Something I didn't talk about in the in the 10-minute take, but it was very clear to me that they are not playing as a team and not playing hard enough as a team when it comes to making each other available for themselves to pass an outlet ball to help. We need help, defensive help. No defensive help in the game against Palace. No defensive help. No one closing down space. Nobody double teaming. Nobody actually trying to get into space to stop crosses coming in. It was just too easy for Palace. And Watford are going to have to tighten up on the defensive end and stop those crosses against a Manchester United side that has a wealth of creativity in Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba and Cristiano Ronaldo. And that's just a few of the Manchester United players I can name. Now, look, the game that we beat Manchester United in was the last one we won at the Vic back in November. But this is a different proposition now, going to Old Trafford, where Watford have not had any success at all when it comes to the Premier League, never have won at Old Trafford. And the game tomorrow will be one that will test Watford. It will be a difficult affair for them. I think Manchester United, as indifferent as they have been at Old Trafford, are seemingly just rounding into shape. And Ralph Ragnick has them at least with a certain identity and a style that they want to play. And they've got players, of course, who are world class, like Ronaldo and numerous others, Bruno Fernandes as well. And Paul Pogba, well, used to be world class. I don't think he's quite up to that at the minute. But the bottom line is that you've got a wealth of talent on that United side who will give Watford a torrid time if they are not identifying what their defensive roles are. Sarr is going to have to track back. He's not done that nearly enough in these games. All of these players are going to have to play for each other. That is what was lacking against Palace. You cannot afford to do that against Manchester United, or you will be looking at the wrong end of a really nasty hiding. And we don't need that at this point or any point in the Premier League. Watford now have to get this done in the business end of the season. Well, after the shocking display, no one's giving Watford any chance against Manchester United, but I'm going to stick my neck out and say, I see Manchester United having a tough time against us. I see Manchester United taking us lightly. I see Manchester United coming off of a Champions League game against Atletico Madrid out there in Madrid in Spain, coming back a little bit off the pace, just a little bit. I see that happening. I see that possibility. I see that Manchester United may just take us for granted. And that's where we can surprise a few or more or two or three. We shall see. How many goals will Watford score at Old Trafford? Well, we need one. And if we can score one, who knows what happens after that? Manchester United's defense has been very shaky this season. I can't trust Manchester United's defenders in a big spot. We saw that against Leeds when Leeds and Man United played last week, and Leeds scored twice after being down 2-0 to Manchester United. That defense is there to be had. Now, Watford have to do what they do on the road in the game against Aston Villa. What they did there was to sit and be defensive and disciplined and then hit on the counter and make the most of their chances. That is what Watford are going to have to do against Manchester United at Old Trafford tomorrow, is if they are at all going to gain at least a point. But we all know that at least a point is not as good as certifiably getting 3 points. And that's what Watford need. I know some are laughing when I say 3 points. But who knows? Football, a funny old game indeed. Not many, I would suspect, had Watford beating Manchester United in the game at Vicarage Road a few months back, let alone scoring 4 times against them, with Ronaldo in the side, no less, with the world-class goalkeeper David De Gea in the side, no less. Well, that's exactly what happened. And who knows what would happen tomorrow? You cannot say. Palace put 4 past us earlier in the week. Now Watford are looking, I think, hungrier to get some revenge. Surely, Watford cannot play as poorly against Manchester United tomorrow as they did against Crystal Palace earlier in the week. No, that just can't happen. So for that reason, I'm giving Watford a vital point, if nothing else, at the very least, against the boys from Manchester. We'll see. Do not underestimate this Watford side. When everybody seems to count them out, they do find a way at times. Too badly and too bad, it's only been a few times this season where they found a way. And they realize now that under Roy Hodgson, they're going to have to find a way very quickly here to start getting points. And I'm talking 3 points. We'll see how this game shakes out. Of course, we will see on paper, everybody has Manchester United in a cakewalk here. But I say not so fast. This one could be a surprise performance and a surprise win. I think that Watford will want to show much better than they did at the Vic, where they do not play well. Watford don't play well at home. That's obvious. We all know that. And I think tomorrow is a chance to show a Watford side that are going to be hungry. What they're going to do is go to probably a 4-3-3 with, I think, the defensive discipline and the defense tightening up for Watford. And I think that Watford are going to take their chances. I think Emmanuel Dennis is going to find the back of the net in this game. I also think we might get a possibility of a second goal. And I do think that Watford will score twice, which you might think is impossible. But against, again, this Manchester United defense, I think Watford can do something good against United. But the key is discipline. The key is being able to sit and defend and also get tight on Manchester United. Do not allow United to get the run of the pitch. You have to stay tight to United. They have so many good players who can hurt you, but you must get tight to them. And please stay physical with them too. Put in the tackle. There was none of that against Palace the other night. No tackles flying in, no tackles letting Palace know that we were there. You're going to have to let Manchester United know that you are there. Manchester United are not a very physical team. Watford will have to get physical and make the game slower for United, bog them down, frustrate them, and hit on the counter and have some precise finishing. That will be very important tomorrow. And Watford must execute if they are to give themselves a better chance of being in the Premier League. So, this game tomorrow is, of course, the game that Watford must start to put things together. Most will write Watford off now at this point. Most will write Watford off in the game tomorrow. But I think that Watford may surprise one or two in this one, and they will have to if they are to get back on the right track. This has been the Orns Friday Focus.